Hi guys, it is Tuesday of week 6 and today we are going to be doing a temperature review. So have your books open to page 271 to 272 and we'll just go ahead and get started. So we're not going to be doing a whole lot of review up front because throughout the page today, it's going to be review. So let's look here. It says, round these temperature readings to the nearest whole degree. When we round to the nearest whole degree, what we're looking for is the ones place. So it's immediately to the left of the decimal point. So let's say I had a number of like 42.7. If I'm going to round to the nearest whole degree, I look at the ones place. And the tenths place is going to help me to round up or stay the same. So that's going to be the boss. So let's go ahead and get started. If I have 63.5% or degrees, and I am rounding to the nearest whole degree, which means my 3 is the number that I'm rounding, and the 5 is the boss, telling me either to round up or to stay the same. What does that 5 do? It tells us to round up. So 63.5 degrees becomes 64 degrees. Awesome. Let's move on to letter B. 19 3/4%. And you're thinking, wait a second, there's no decimal. Well, what is 19 3/4%? 19.75%. Am I done? Not percent, degrees, sorry. Nope, we're not done. Now we need to round, or now we get to round. So we're going to look at the ones place, which is a 9. The 7 is the boss. Is the 7 telling that 9 to round up or to stay the same? It's telling that 9 to round up. Well, wait, 9, what does 9 round to? 9, then we have to look at 19. What does 19 round to? 20. So it is 20 degrees. Same thing with letter C. It's a decimal. A fraction. What in the world? Remember yesterday I was telling you, if you have any number over 9, your decimal is going to be that numerator repeating. So it's actually 5.444444 repeating. Now, 5 is in the ones place. The 4 is the boss. What does 4 make that 5 do? Stay the same, right? 5 degrees. Letter D, 76.5 degrees. You're right, 76.5 degrees. And then we can round. The 6 is what I'm rounding, and the 5 is the boss. And the 5 rounds up. Good, 77 degrees. Okay, guys. Take a moment, press pause, and try through letter H on your own. Okay, so letter E, 25.1 degrees becomes 25 degrees. Letter F, 211 3/5 degrees becomes 211.6 degrees, which becomes 212 degrees. Letter G, 16.29 degrees becomes 16 degrees. And letter H, 35 3/5 becomes 35.6, which becomes 36 degrees. Let's move on. We are going to be converting from Fahrenheit to Celsius or from Celsius to Fahrenheit. So we got to be super careful. And we need to be math investigators to see which one we have to use. And it says, if necessary, round to the nearest whole degree. Sometimes we forget those directions, right? Sometimes, that's a funny, okay. Sometimes we forget those directions. I'm just going to erase that. And we forget that we have to round. But we've always got to follow our directions. So letter A on 2, we are converting to Fahrenheit. So we're going to use the F formula. And the F formula is Fahrenheit equals 9/5 C, say it with me, plus 32. Let me blow that up for you so you can see it. So let's plug in. Fahrenheit equals 9/5 times 65 over 1 plus 32. What am I going to do first? Right, I'm going to do the 65 over 1 times 9/5 first. But before I do that, I can cancel. 5 and 65 share a common factor of 5. So 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 65. Well, 5 goes into 6 one time with 1 left over. 5 goes into 15 3 times. So we have now a new problem. All we have to do now is to multiply these and then add 32. So I'm going to rewrite it just so it doesn't look so messy. 9 times 13 plus 32. And with PEMDAS, we need to do 9 times 13 and then add 32. So I'm going to come over here and do 13 times 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 2 is 11. So we have Fahrenheit equals 117 plus 32. I'm going to add my 32 over here. 941, 149 degrees. So 65 degrees Celsius is 149 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, now are we going to be using the same formula on letter B? No way, Jose, we're not doing that. We need to use our Celsius formula because that's what they've given us. Okay, I'm going to use a different color so you guys can see it a little bit better. We're using the Celsius formula, and the Celsius formula is C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. Ready? C equals 5/9 times F in this case is 212 minus 32. 200, I'm going to do this horizontally because remember we have to do what's in the parentheses first. 212 minus 32, 0, 1, 180. So C equals 5/9 times 180 over 1. Do you see a common factor between 9 and 180? Should. It's 9. 9 goes into 9 one time. 9 goes into 180 20 times. So now we just need to multiply 5 and 20. What's 5 times 20? 100. So C equals 100 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius. Let's do another one. Letter C, which formula am I going to use? Am I going to use the C formula or the F formula? The F formula, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to use a different color. C, oh no, not C, F. F equals 9/5 times C plus 32. F equals 9/5 times 12 over 1 plus 32. Now, do 5 and 12 share a common factor? They do not. So what we'll need to do is to multiply 9 times 12 and then divide by 5. 12 times 9, 8 is 108. And then we're going to do 108 divided by 5. 5 goes into 10 2 times. Subtract. 5 goes into 8 one time. And I get 3/5. So 31 3/5. Now remember, our directions say to round to the nearest whole degree. So if I have 31, excuse me, not 31, 21 3/5, I actually have 21.6, and I'm going to round, so that becomes what? 22 degrees. So I have Fahrenheit equals 22 plus 32. What's 22 plus 32? 54. So 12 degrees Celsius is about 54 degrees Fahrenheit, just about. Okay. I want you guys to press pause, and you are going to work on D, E, and F. Now for for F, you're going to be using the Fahrenheit scale. So you're going to be using the formula for F. F equals 9/5 C plus 32. But for D and E, you're going to be using the Celsius formula. And the Celsius formula is C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. Go ahead and work those out and then come back and see me. Press pause. Okay, so when you work these out, E was a little bit of a tricky one. It was a trickster, right? Because anything times 0 is 0, so it's going to be 0 degrees Celsius. But look at D, E, and F. See what you did. If you made a mistake, I want you to look at the way that I've done them and see where your mistake was. And it's okay because practice makes progress, right? Not everyone's going to get them all perfect all at once. You're doing awesome. Let's move on to 3. It says solve for X. Now, because, I want you to look at A, because 9 does not go into 14 evenly, or nothing times 9 gives you 14 evenly, right? We can use a process called cross multiplication that we were using the other day. Let's cross multiply to solve for x. So when we cross multiply, we'll do this one first. 9 times x is 9x equals 7 times 14. We don't know that one yet, but we'll multiply it, okay? So, like I said, we have to multiply first. 14 times 7 is 98. So 9x equals 98. How do I isolate x? How do I solve? I divide by 9 because multiplying by 9, the opposite is dividing by 9. So x equals, well, I know it doesn't go in evenly. So I'm going to divide. 9 into 9 is 1. Subtract, bring down my 8. 9 into 8 is 0, right? Got to have that 0. And I'm left with 8 ninths. So x equals 10 and 8 ninths. Now, I won't make you guys check these ones because I know they don't go in evenly, but that is how we solve these. Let's solve one more. Let's look at letter B. I have x divided by 6 equals 2 cubed. Is that 2 times 3? No, siree. It's 2 times, this is actually 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So I have x divided by 6 equals 8. What do I do now? I'm dividing by 6. What's the opposite of dividing by 6? It's called the division axiom. You multiply by 6. Good. Because these cancel out and we get x equals, what's 8 times 6? 48. Now, could I plug this one in and check? Let's mentally do it. 40, let's mentally check it right here. 48 divided by 6 is 8. 2 cubed is also 8. 8 equals 8. Our answer is 48. We got this. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to number 4. We're going to find the answers. So I have 2 miles, 15 yards minus 50 yards. What do I do? Can I do 15 minus 50? I cannot do 15 minus 50. So I have to go to my miles, take 1 from the miles, but this is where we have to think. How many yards are in a mile? 1,760 yards in 1 mile. So we have to add 1,760 plus 15. Let's rewrite our problem. Remember, whenever we subtract and we have to borrow, we rewrite the problem. 1 mile, 1,775 yards, because 1,760 plus 15 is 1,775 minus 50 yards. Now we can subtract. We'll subtract here. We know this is yards. 7 minus 5 is 2. So 1,725 yards. We have 1 mile and 1,725 yards. Don't get confused, I should say. Just because it's a big number, we can still work it out. Big numbers work as well. Okay, letter B. We are multiplying here. So the first thing we have to do is multiply this one's place, or the month's place, right? What is 6 times 3? 18. 18 months. Right? And what is, then we got to multiply the tens place, or the years place. 5 times 6. 30. So I have 30 years, 18 months. Now, how many months are in a year? 12. 12 months in a year. How many groups of 12 can I take out, or can I exchange for a year? One group of 12 I can take out of 18. So I'll add that year and subtract the 12 months that I've converted. All I did here was trade 12 months, or subtract 12 months, and add 1 year. 18 minus 12 is 6 months. 30 plus 1 is 31 years. Okay, how about letter C? 7 pounds, 4 ounces, and we want to convert to ounces. So this is what we're converting. That's going to be our magic number. That's what we're going to add, okay? So really our problem that we're trying to figure out is 7 pounds equals how many ounces? Let's do our magic number. 1, 2, 3. I'm going from pounds to ounces. I multiply. How many ounces in a pound? 16. So we're going to multiply what we have by what we need. 7 times 16, or we can do 16 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Plus our 4, don't forget the 4, equals how many total? 116. 116 ounces. That's a lot of ounces. Okay, let's look at our review. Complete the chart. Actually, yes. How do we find, let's look at letter A. I don't want to use that color. I would like to use a different color. Let's look at letter A. And on letter A, we are finding commission. Now it kind of tells us what to do on letter A. It says 5% of $5,000. What does of mean? What do we do when we see of? We multiply. And what about if I have a 5%? What do I have to do first? Change it to a decimal. So I'm going to do 0.05 times 5,000. Let's multiply. I'm going to do it right here. 5,000 times 0.05. 0, 0, 0. 5 times 5 is 25. I have 2 decimal places I want to go in. So we get how much? How much money? Now I said money on purpose because it's money. And we have to do $250 because that's money. Okay, let's move down to number 6. Complete the chart. If necessary, round to the nearest hundredth. Oh, that's good information to know. Okay, if on letter A, we have a radius of 0.4, what's our diameter? How do we go from radius to diameter? What do we have to do? Multiply by 2, because a diameter is actually just 2 radii. What is 0.4 times 2? 0.8. Good, so it'd be 0.8 meters. Now, I want to save circumference and area for a minute, okay? Let's keep going. Let's look at letter B. If I have 3.5 feet as a diameter, how do I find radius? My lights just went off because I've been sitting. Hold on, well, that's okay. How do I find radius? I divide by 2. So we're going to do 3.5 divided by 2 to find radius. 3.5 divided by 2. What do I do here? Keep, change, flip. Good. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 7/2 times, this is really 2 over 1, so we're going to flip it, times 1 over 2, and it becomes 7/4, but can I keep it 7/4? Nope, I'm going to change it. 4 goes into 7 one time with 3 left over, so 1 3/4. What are we looking here at? Feet. Okay, go ahead and try radius and diameter for C and D and then come back. Okay, so if you have a diameter, to find radius, you divide by 2. So letter C, 6 divided by 2 is 3 inches. And then letter D, if you have a radius and you're trying to find diameter, you multiply by 2. So 15 times 2 is 30. Now, let's say we're trying to find circumference and area. What's the formula for circumference? Circumference equals, there's 2 of them. Pi d, pi times diameter, or circumference equals 2 times pi times radius. If I have diameter, I like to use the diameter formula because it's only 1 time multiply. How about for area? Area equals pi r squared. So let's do a couple of these together. Let's say we're going to do this one. We'll do a little pattern here. This one, and this one. Let's do 4 of these together. So number A, or letter A, 6A, we're going to find the circumference of a circle with a 0.8 meter diameter. Circumference equals pi times diameter. This is A. Circumference equals 3.14 times, what's our diameter? 0.8. Let's multiply. Remember, I like to work it out over on the side. 8 times 4 is 32. 3 times 1 is 8 plus 3 is 11. 8 times 3 is 24 plus 1 is 25. And I have 3 decimal points this time. 1, 2, 3. So we get circumference equals 2.512 meters. We're not going to do area for this one, but we are going to do area for letter B. So let's move on. I'm going to erase this down here, guys. So as I go, if you need to, go back and pause if you still need it, but let's keep going. Letter B, I have 1 3/4 foot radius. Okay. Now, do I want to multiply with fractions? Probably not. I probably want to change this to a mixed number, okay? Area equals, this is 6B. pi r squared. Area equals 3.14 times our radius squared. And our radius in this case is 1.75 feet. And how do I get that? Well, 1 3/4 is 1.75. So we have to, is it 1.75 times 2 or is it 1.75 times 1.75? Yeah, the latter, 1.75 times 1.75. Okay, you multiply it, I'll multiply it, and we'll get back together. You don't have to pause though. Let's see if we get the same answer. You hear me? I'm multiplying. I always have to talk to myself. Whoo, that went all the way back. 2. Oh, we forgot to do something for circumference, but that's okay. We'll go back to it. Okay, so when you multiply this, you get 3.0625. But that's for your radius squared, but we have to do what still? Multiply by the pi. Man, my words don't want to come out. 3.0625 times 3.14. Press pause, work on that, and then come back. Okay, when you multiply, you get 9.616250. And our direction stayed around to the nearest hundredth. So we get 9.62 feet squared. Now, for circumference, we forgot to round to the nearest hundredth. But if I have, oops, that's tense. If I have a 1 in the hundredths place and a 2 is the boss, what happens? The 2 just goes away, right? So we have 2.51. Let's go on. I'm going to erase this very quickly, and we're going to move on to 2C. And for 2C, we're going to be working through the circumference of 2C. Let's see. We have circumference equals pi times diameter. Because we have diameter, we're going to use it. Circumference equals 3.14 times 6. Because that's our diameter, right? 3.14 times 6. We've done this so many times, some of you guys might have it memorized. What does circumference equal? Equals 18.84 inches. Okay, let's do one more together. We're going to look at the area of, and it won't be as difficult as the last one because there's no decimals, but the area of a circle with a 15-foot radius. So I'm going to see if we can work it over here. 2D. We have area equals pi r squared. Area equals 3.14 times our radius is 15, so 15 squared. What is 15 squared? If you don't know it, let's work it out. Guys, sometimes we don't have it memorized. I'm going to work over here. 5 times 5 is 25. 7, 5. Add it all together, we get 225. So area equals 3.14 times 225. Pause it, multiply it out, and come back. Okay, when you multiply it out, you should get 706.5. So area equals 706.5 square feet. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you your work for tonight. You guys are all doing such an amazing job. So your work for tonight is as follows. You're going to do number 2, G, H, and I. Remember, you need to round to the nearest whole degree when you do these. So number 2, G, H, and I. Number 3, C, and D. I would like you to do number 7B, 7C, 7H, and 7L. Let's do one more. I'd like you to do 7E as also. So you have 10 problems total. It should not take you very long. You guys are really good at this. After you've done them, please put them into Google Classroom, and I will see you Wednesday. Remember, Thursday is a test. You guys will have a test on Thursday, and then Friday we won't meet because we are going to be doing our Mother's Tea with our moms at home. So I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.